So she showed it to him. Well, several more months go by, and then I get a call from this guy who's I don't know if he'd want me to use his name or not, so I guess I won't, but he's a big shot at one of the major publishers, in charge of international sales for this major publisher. And he asked me if he could show it to an editor there, a senior editor, and he said it was just a great book and he wanted to get published. Well, he did, and he turned it down. At the same time, back when I had given it, remember I told you I gave it to a few people to read, I showed it to a cousin of mine who's a surgeon down in La Jolla, California. He said to me, can I show it to a patient of mine who's a retired publisher? So I said, okay. Well, he showed it to his patient. Again, months go by. The guy calls me and loved it. And he said, this thing should be published. And I'd like to introduce you to an agent friend of mine. I said, okay. So I got an agent. She was very enthusiastic also. By then I had pretty much completed my third draft. I gave the agent that new draft. And then she had some suggestions, and I went over it again, and actually took a while, maybe more than a year, certainly probably 2 years, and moved to Pennsylvania in the meantime because we were running out of money, to put it mildly. Then she sent it out to everybody. She thought it was going to be a big hit. She sent it, as they say, wide, to all the publishers, and everybody turned it down. And they said, some of them said, well, this is great, but really the historical market, you need a female protagonist in today's market. And then other people said, well, historical fiction has really passed its peak. And, it just didn't seem like it was read. A couple of places I got much more developed, encouraging answers. I'd say more than a handful of places. But it was very, very discouraging as a whole. She and I parted ways, and then I called a friend of mine who had been a distributor for some publishers and asked him for advice. He said, I have a friend in New York who might have an idea for you. I really don't know what you could do. I went into New York. I met with his friend. She said, the perfect publisher for your book is Other Press, which is affiliated with Random House, and they're going to like it. I sent it to Other Press. A month goes by. I sent an email inquiry. A month goes by. I call them, and they hadn't even noticed my inquiry. They said, well, just give us time. We haven't gotten to it yet. Another month goes by. Same story. Third month goes by. And, she says, look, Mitchell, you've called me a few times now. I'm sorry it's taken this long. Why don't you just send me the inquiry again? So I sent it to her. Next day, I get a call from her saying, send me a PDF of the book. And then a couple days later, I get a call from the top person, the publisher, with an offer. So That's, I think, kind of a weird story. In the meantime, all this time I had been revising the book. So by then it was the fourth draft of